Everyone, so today is a Sunday and I literally spent the whole weekend on the LSAT. So I just want to share my experience and a study with me today. guys, so I just finished my LSAT, literally. So you can see it says fulfilled. Section was successfully fulfilled. So I took it at 4 p.m. PST, and I think I started before 4:30 PST. So my experience. So basically, I didn't have quiet place, so I booked a hotel using the reimbursed quiet place that LSAC provides. So they provide $125 USD reimbursement. So in Canadian dollars, that is around $171 Canadian. So I booked a hotel, and this place cost, it's like a double deluxe, so I'm basically by myself, but there's like 2 beds here. Basically, this place, I think I got it on a third-party site for $202. So yeah, it was very expensive. So basically, I have to pay out of my own pocket like the $30-40 because it costs $202. So yeah, that's my experience. Oh my gosh, you can see my eyes are completely tired because I've been staring at a screen for the past 3 hours. Let me tell you my experience as a first-time LSAT taker. It is great to, dedicate full-time hours to this test, to preparing for this test, because it is not an easy test. And I literally took 2 practice tests, literally, to prepare for this. I barely did any preparation or studying, honestly, which is not great. So I literally took a diagnostic test, and then I took 1 practice test, and the rest I've been like trying to read books. Last night I was trying to cram Khan Academy tutorials. So honestly, my foundation was not very strong, so I literally struggled a lot. This test, honestly, it felt doable if only I had more time, because time was only 35 minutes per entire section. My order was basically logic games, then logical reasoning, a break, 10-minute break, then reading comprehension, and then logical reasoning again. And I really did not appreciate logical reasoning because I was so confused with like the terms, the words, how they like word everything, and just like the assumptions and all of that. It was just confusing. I think if I had studied and done more practice tests and like had a better foundational understanding of what the questions are asking, and just understanding of logic games and logical reasoning patterns and how to solve like reading comprehension strategies better, then I probably would have been able to solve them faster and just more accurately. But I literally guessed the last game for all 4 sections basically, and I literally just had to rush everything. I guessed so many and I flagged like so many questions. So yeah, by the end of it, I just had to use my guessing strategy and just guess the whole game. Basically, I think I appreciate reading comprehension a bit more compared to LR and LG for sure, but that's because I probably didn't practice enough. So honestly, my plan of action right now is I have to take the LSAT writing soon, but I also have several other things I need to finish. I have to finish like an application, some security prep for another interview coming up next week. I have maybe a podcast also that I have to start recording. So I just have a lot, and I know that, and I want to apply for scholarship as well, because I think that would help, because preparing for LSATs in law school, it's just so expensive. I realized like even submitting an app, it cost me $315. Taking an LSAT cost me $315. That's already, and like all of these other things, it almost took away $1,000, right, of my savings. So I really want to apply for SHIP and see if I can get some of these and use some of that to
use for preparing for law school and these LSATs. So if I have to take January, which I probably do, then I'm hoping that I would be able to get shipped so that I can use that. And also try to get some, join a course or something this time, because I literally studied for this all on my own, which was not a great move. But anyway, so basically here I am in my hotel room that I rented for one night. I'll tell you that I was taking the test and it was very quiet and nice, and then around like 5:30, 5 p.m. I suddenly heard like music and like drums and like singing. So I think because this is the 4th floor, I'm in 406, by the way. So I think because this is the 4th floor, I can hear literally everything. So I heard like the drums and like the singing of the band below at the restaurant. I'm pretty sure that band is also my sibling's friend and coworker, so that's hilarious. But I bought myself soft foam earplugs, but seeing experience right off the bat, I do have to take the LSAT writing sooner than later, and I know that I will probably have to sign up for a score preview, which costs $75 or maybe more, because if it's in CAD, I don't know. And then also I have to take, oh my gosh, everything's just so expensive. And then also I have to sign up probably for the January test, which is going to cost another $315. So basically I need that scholarship. To pay for this, honestly. And now I need to settle down and eat some sweet potato kogum bread. And yeah, that's the food cooking channel on right now. And yeah, honestly, this room, I was scouting out like potential hotel rooms to take the test in, because I wanted to make sure the TV wasn't up there and stuff. But I found that a lot of the hotels have a TV. Really to your place hotel to set up. I literally came 30 minutes right before and then had to quickly set up. So I put all of my stuff, like my clothes, notes, inside that room, the closet, because you don't want anything out here. I also have to submit my reimbursement form, so maybe I'll work on that now just to get a start on that. Hi, so this is a room tour. Clean and nice. This is the double deluxe room. Very clean. The only thing is, because I had to take a test here, the chair was a little bit, didn't even go up, and it kept going backwards like this. And yeah, so that was the sad part, but otherwise it was okay. Like how their desk is really big and clean, so if you're taking a test like I was, an important test like the LSAT or your MCAT or just your school exam, I highly recommend it actually, because their desk is pretty large. They have a night light lamp here, so it provides good lighting. And I was feeling a little hungry and didn't want to get hotel food, so I ordered this from our local 한국 한식 식당 right next door. So yeah, and I got some Uber Cash, which I didn't get to use, but this is 보쌈 and this is 된장찌개. There's quite a lot, so so he's joining me to have some food. And hey everyone, so continuing on from yesterday's LSAT preparation or test that I took, this entire weekend, today Sunday, has just been about preparing for it and taking the test. So now that I just finished the writing portion of it, I just want to share a place that's quiet, because it was really hard for me to concentrate during the middle, because there was talking and there was music. I have these that I purchased. They did not work as well, but actually I think they did. They muted a little bit of sound. So I suggest getting soft foam earplugs if you can. Basically, I took the writing today just now, and I didn't do really any preparation beforehand. So what I did was I watched two videos from like 1 to 3 years ago that were on YouTube, just explaining what the writing portion is like and how to structure it. And basically I didn't have any structure or strategy going in. My strategy was just because I prefer like writing and reading aside from like actual analytical reasoning, like the logic games. The writing was also okay for me. The only thing is to manage your time really well, because you only have 35 minutes, and even that was not enough for me to type. Like, I finished it, I had an intro, I had the middle, I went through rebuttals, and I did a 1-sentence conclusion basically. So I highly suggest, if you're doing the writing, to manage your time. I spent about 10 minutes or so, I'd say 10 to 50 minutes just reading through the prompt and the criteria, and then just going through and analyzing what I think the pros and cons of each choice should be. So how I laid it out for writing, you have scratch paper in the bottom, and basically you can just click. I just wrote the 2 choices, the 2 criteria, and then the pros and cons for each choice. So that planning, it took a lot of time, but it really helped in helping me get the ideas across. The only thing was the scratch paper was like at the bottom of the screen, so it was like I had to keep scrolling up and down to check what I wrote and what I had planned for. But other than that, it's just really time management and reading the details properly. So I can't talk about my prompt, but I would say it was a little bit like weird and confusing at first, because I was like, which side should I take? Like, in the middle of it, I almost wanted to switch to the other side, but because of time, I just stayed with the first side I chose. So just the strategy is pick a side and just stick with it and just go for it. Put all your arguments forward, and also don't forget to do the cons of the art of the choice, but also go through the rebuttal process. I borrowed because I didn't do any purchasing of any materials. I didn't even take any courses leading up to my first exam. So, and I only took 2 PTs, as I said. So this I didn't even get to use, but if I were to retake it, I would definitely go through all of these, because this has, I'll show you, these have drills in them. These have like pure sequencing diagram here. So because I barely did any prep and I went into it just cold, basically, I don't even know how to categorize these besides the basics. Like, there's 2 rule inference drills, linear based representation diagramming drill, conditional reasoning. And if I did these drills, I think I would have had a better understanding of what kind of strategy I should use on each type of game, but I didn't. Anyway, this I did read one, which I looked through briefly. I also looked through the logic games one. This Kaplan workbook is something that I got in, I think, 1st or 2nd year, and I took it out because I still had my law school related pamphlets and such. And basically I did this workbook, when I had time, like while I was on the bus, at night after work. And this basically has just a set of project plans from 2008 October, so it's PT 55. So this was helpful really it was one of my only practices doing LG, and it has these sections. So it had 23, I believe. Yes, it had 23 logic game questions, and then it goes over the answers of the facts. So this is very old as a workbook, but I still had it, so I used it, and that was pretty key practice for me.
As I mentioned, I also went through PT 75, which I did not do great on because I ran out of time, and because I went into this basically cold with one PT and one diagnostic test, and this workbook done, and just several videos that I watched, which I would not recommend. I ran out of time in many sections, and I think otherwise you really need to prep beforehand. You need to do drills, and I highly suggest getting like workbooks like this or printing your things out. I haven't printed anything, but getting books like this, highly suggest getting them from the library if you aren't able to purchase them as well, because that helps. So otherwise, I would highly suggest, if you don't have a quiet place, get the quiet place reimbursement. Right now, the USD Canadian exchange rate is very bad. So basically, I had to pay like $50 out of pocket, which is not great. Otherwise, this has been an okay place for me. My proctor experience yesterday was pretty positive. Besides, it was a little bit unclear in the beginning, but by the end of it was okay. And I think my proctor switched once, but it wasn't distracting, and I made sure to tell them before, if you need to tell me something, please make sure to pause the timer first. So that could be something that you tell your proctor. Otherwise, for the writing portion, I drew these curtains just in case, and you have to do a 360 room scan of your entire workspace. So keep that in mind. I put away my phone, like I put everything, all my books, my bags, all in the closet. So I highly suggest putting everything away, because you don't want to get flagged and have to get that canceled for any reason and retake it again. So just because I had my quiet place today, I just decided to take the writing portion and just get it done with. So I went into it without virtually any preparation. I didn't do the practice one on LSAT, but on Law Hub, but if you have the time, I recommend you to do a practice, because it's good to see what the interface looks like. I did skim through the one on Law Hub because it was recommended. I was reading an article about the writing portion and it led me to it. So I looked at it briefly. I looked at how there is a scratch paper at the bottom. I looked at how the choices, criteria, and the passage is outlined, and that helped me get a sense of what it looks like, so that you don't waste any time, figuring out the interface at the time you are taking the writing part. So yeah, that's it. I will now close for today, and yeah, I will see you in a bit.